Good afternoon. This is Eric Ayer and Phil Kabler at the West Virginia Legislature with a preview. Phil, could you talk a little bit about what sort of expectations you have for this upcoming session, which starts on Wednesday?
That's been my experience since I've been here, and first session was in 1990, that the most difficult sessions are the ones when there's serious financial problems like we're currently in. The current budget is estimated to come up $343 million short, and of course that's without even beginning work on the 2016-17 budget, which there's no anticipated economic upswing, so this will be two issues: filling this year's budget hole and then dealing with a similar hole in next year's budget. So I think that'll take a lot of the legislature's time, just trying to figure out how to plug this really serious budget deficit.
What do you see as the first one, two, or three bills that are going to come up that are going to be probably the most newsworthy or most interesting?
Well, I assume the leadership will move forward. They have several bills that they believe will make the state more employer-friendly. One would be to permit right to work, which is, of course, allowing members of employees to work in labor unions without having to pay the union dues. The other, and this was a big issue last session, was on prevailing wage, and they ended up with a compromise last session to come up with a new formula which probably somewhat lowered prevailing wage rates, which is the wages that the state has to pay for major public construction projects. The leadership wasn't really satisfied with the new formula for prevailing wage, so their intent now, as I understand it, is to just repeal it entirely and leave it up to the free market to decide what wages are paid to construction workers on these sites. Those would probably be two of the primary early issues.
Do you expect a lot of opposition from labor unions and that?
Yeah, I think we saw last year there was a lot of opposition to the initial plans to repeal prevailing wage entirely, and I think right to work will be the real sort of lightning rod issue for labor. So I would anticipate they'll redouble their efforts to address or try to block both bills from going forward. So that'll be an early point of contention, I would think.
And what about the social issues? Which social issues do you expect to be on the front burner this year?
Of course, they've said in last year, legislature passed a permitless concealed carry bill, which now to obtain a concealed carry permit, you have to complete a firearm safety training course and complete a background check, and this would allow concealed carry without a permit, which last year Governor Tomlin vetoed on request from a lot of law enforcement agencies who didn't think this was such a great idea. I think the intent this session will be to get that passed early in the session to make it so-called veto proof, that they would have time remaining in the session to override a veto, which and West Virginia law is just a simple majority vote, like a lot of states where it takes a 2/3 majority to override a veto.